Hey gamers. Welcome to the tournament. This one, Choozo Randomizer. I don't really know exactly what it is, but what I do know is we got a banger race right here between Glove and phatscott, two of what I can tell some of the best randomizer runners in this tournament. Also some of the best vanilla runners, looks like. I think both have very solid vanilla times as well. They are racing, as you may have noticed from them starting in Wrecked Ship and suddenly being in Green Brindstar. This is full area, random start, full countdown. You can tell at the top left, you can see the area they're currently in and the major item count. And I believe random boss as well. So that is what we are going to be seeing. Basically, other than the random start, it's a fairly standard randomizer for what a lot of the community has been running lately. The area rando has become very popular among most people, I would say. We are seeing very similar routes so far, Glove a little bit ahead. And they have found one of the big boss areas, this eastern area. I am bad at east and west. Don't ask me for directions. It's not going to end well. We also do have, I guess, potentially our second major item. There are two in Red Brindstar. They did get Morph at the Wreck Ship. They get a very good item here, or Glove does. Looks like phatscott's actually doubling back in the Green Brindstar. So Glove's gonna get that early gravity suit. Can't imagine it'll be something that Scott misses. He'll probably pick that up and without too much trouble. Red Brindstar does have a lot of areas that connect to it, or a lot of area transitions, I should say. So right now the runners really are just trying to find as many items as they can. They need all the ammo, especially super missiles and power bombs. They both do have their first super packs. Still looking for those power bombs. Any other movement and weaponry items are highly appreciated. Scott getting Screw Attack and Spring Ball, two items that are most likely not necessary, but are definitely nice to have. You see that Screw Attack really does mean you don't need to worry about pretty much any of the enemies in this game outside of the major bosses, of course, and the mini bosses, I suppose. So we'll see what the other two items in this area are. We'll see if we can get to them. They're still, both runners still looking for those first power bombs. That would open up a few more items in this area. Do get that ice beam up at the early supers area. Looks like that's all they can do here, so I'm going to see where this area transition leads them to. They would like to find another area that they can traverse and that has plenty of major items. Unfortunately, that is not either. Only one item, and they can't really get out. Technically, they can with Ice Beam and Spring Ball, but with only one major item that you couldn't even access and one extra door to check. Definitely not something I would think the runners would want to do. Although actually Glove has gravity, so that could be a little bit more enticing. Still not where you want to be, but it could take you somewhere interesting, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Glove go through it instead of doubling back down the elevator. I'm going to do a gravity jump here to get up. Well executed. Those crabs will do a lot of damage if you hit them, so do have to keep in mind where the crabs usually are in the room. They would have been fine. Glove would have survived the hit, but would have been down to some pretty low HP values. There's our first look at Upper Norfair with only one item. So looking like criteria may be a little bit stacked. So once the runners can find that, it's a bit of an awkward area if you aren't starting in it, because the items are actually fairly spread out. But if there are a lot of items, it can be worth the travel time. Plus, there can be the other suit, that Varia suit, because the random start is on. I believe that setting allows for suits to be placed in criteria. I'm not entirely sure if these settings would allow it anyways, but either way, point is Varia can potentially be in criteria. Well, there's that major item in West Meridia. The Wave Beam. Another luxury item alongside Spring Ball and Screw Attack. Probably not going to be required. Technically, Spring Ball is a little bit more than a luxury item, but with gravity, I think it's pretty safe to call it a luxury item. Alright, so here's a bit of a low percent ice gravity jump. You need to jump at like the very... not the last frame. I think it's a 2 or 3 frame window. You also need to be jumping from the highest platform, so Glove needs to adjust there. Actually, there's only 2 items in criteria. Not as much as I had promised you. So, Scott is going to keep looking. There's still plenty of areas left. Kraid and Crocomire could potentially both have a lot of items. Obviously, Kraid can only have 3, since there are 3 items in the area. Croc can have 6 or 7. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. Meanwhile, Scott does have his gravity suit, has been going through up Red Tower. Now has that X-ray, which is not the most exciting. I imagine he was really hoping for a powerbomb pack there. But still, 2 doors up here to check. Or 2 area transitions, rather. Scott gonna take a save. I didn't see if he picked up the reserve tank that Glove has. I know they were both in the same area. I doubt he would have skipped it. Sorry about that. Playing back. So chat correcting me. We have seen the Varia suit. Or at least Glove has. It was in Wreck Ship, up in the little maze at the left. Meanwhile, Scott is stuck. I didn't see what both doors were. I saw one was Kraid, which he can't access without some kind of bomb breaking ability. The other one was apparently not something he could traverse either. So he's actually starting from the beginning, it looks like. It's a pretty rough loss, but he does have all the information. It's not a full 12-minute loss overall. Definitely feels bad, though. Does potentially give him a chance to check that item where the Varia suit is, up in the maze. The sky maze. I don't know what the technical name for that is. I like sky maze, though. Y'all should start using that. Well, we do see Glove finding that powerbomb pack. Was checking the West Meridia, the beach area, even though there's no major items in the area, just to try to get that first powerbomb, and does do that successfully. East Meridia is technically accessible. Not comfortable yet, though, and unless the boss is Crater Fantoon, the boss will not be beatable. At least not quickly. Technically, Dragon would be beatable, but it'd be very slow. No, I actually didn't know that change was through yet, that the East Meridia can be broken with Screw Attack. I believe those were just changed to bomb blocks, if I'm not mistaken. It's not something I've actively used, but I have seen things about it. Only in area, of course. So we'll see if Scott does check that item. Not this time. So Glove still has that knowledge, but they do need to actually find Fantoon to get to it, I believe. Unless that's another thing that's changed in Varia, where you can get through Attic without Attic being on. So we'll see if Glove is able to find that fourth major item in this area, or if it's at Waterway and we won't see it yet. Well, the fact that Glove is going back to the ship so confidently makes me think that perhaps the attic is accessible. Or potentially just checking the... Well, no, if you know that's Varia, you wouldn't go and check spooky missiles. Oh, I'm silly. They're checking the boss. What am I saying? And it actually is vanilla, so Glove can do this very easily. Has plenty of missiles for some Doppler strats. Can do an easy 3-round or see if they go for a 2-round. I'm not 100% sure how comfortable Glove is with that, although I know they have ran new route before. I was lagging through that, but it looked... So, if chat hasn't been lying to me this whole time, there's only one item that really matters. Glove is going to check some of the some of the shorter items. Like this one right here, this left side super, which is just a missile. I'm going to go straight to that Varia suit and leave the area, nothing else to do. I guess they could also go check the other door. It's an option. Well, there it is. Chat didn't lie to me. Huge. And so Scott is already about where he was before that unfortunate soft lock. Has a few bits of knowledge as well, but still well behind Glove at the moment. Still a lot of race, although with both suits already, Glove definitely in a very commanding position. PBs were in West Meridia at, I believe the area is called Beach. The top right area. I think Watering Hole's the two items that are a bit further away, and that item is Beach. But maybe I have them mixed up. Two items at Croc. Don't think we saw this before. Scott has plenty of ammo. It's a little bit scary to enter this fight with not a lot of ammo, but it actually takes less than you think, usually. Like 8 supers and a handful of missiles. Which is still sometimes a little bit more than is comfortable, but Scott actually needs to be careful. That is a little bit more problematic. Yeah, without Various Suit, that acid in Crocmire's area will deal a lot of damage in Varia. Varia Randomizer, I should say. And so, Scott, unfortunately, going to have to do that 7 minutes once again. It's all right. One day, hopefully, this time he'll make the check. The check to where Varia is. So to be honest, if you're not super comfortable with full rando, then it's not a check that is immediately obvious. Since one, it's not something that you're inherently going to know about. You really have to see it in action, if that makes sense. Like, it's not something that would be intuitively known to check. But also in major minor, if you're used to that, or even Choozo Rando, it's not an important item to check, so it's not common knowledge to everyone. See, that's why we like racing so much. So much to learn about this game, about all the different little things you can do to gain knowledge and gain time, and different item shuffles and area shuffles and anything else. We're all on the pursuit of knowledge, if you think about it. Yeah, phatscott died twice. Technically, the first one was a soft lock up at the top of Red Tower. The second one was dying at Crocomire, both times without a save. Though, in his defense, there haven't been any quickly accessible saves he could have gone for. I guess the top of Green Brinstar save, which I would not be surprised to see Scott take after dying twice. Definitely a bit of a mental thing. Once you take 1 or 2 deaths, you really start feeling like you have to play a lot safer, and I think taking a couple saves is the natural result of that. Ooh, nice plasma for Glove. Another beam upgrade. We know where X-ray is, so we're just looking for charge for the full beam combo plus microwave. Even though microwave would only help for Dragon and potentially Batoon. I guess he could microwave grade, but not advisable or needed, so they'll die in one shot anyways. Also importantly, Glove has made it to 3 energy tanks. So with charge, this is technically go mode. Obviously, without knowledge of where everything is. Glove has not seen Kraid's Lair, and I don't think they've seen Lower Norfair either. Still a few doors to check in this area. There's G4, another important location. I didn't see if Scott actually took that save in Green Brinstar, by the way. I hope he did. For his sake. I think... Not sure if... Does this spring ball make it without high jump? Does spring ball jump make it? Doesn't look like it. Maybe you could have done it a little bit better, but I don't think so. It looked good from Glove. And that's actually pretty awkward. There is a niche trick of using the Garuda at the top of the room with Ice Beam to get across, but if you don't know exactly what you're doing, then that's not going to happen. And there aren't a lot of people who know exactly how to do that. I think Ashter's done it before, but Ashter is a little bit crazy, so... Something to keep in mind. Instead, Glove's just going to do this speedless speedway strat with the Plasma Beam. Plasma and Wave, to be clear. Need both for that strat to work. Yeah, Glove has Spring Ball. I don't know if they know the high jump-less wall jump strat up worst room in the game. Wouldn't surprise me, though. Well, for the second time, Scott has made it back to where he was. He has a lot of knowledge. He is a bit behind. More than a bit at this point, I would say. Not to dampen the mood. I didn't actually see where he found Crocomire. I assume it was over this way. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes straight back. He knows that he doesn't need to cross the acid because it's just a missile pack. Yeah, there it is. No. Glove did leave one of the items behind in Green Brinstar. There's a couple items that they didn't check in the pink area. I believe Wavegate and Spore Spawn Supers were both unchecked. So now's a good time to route that back in. It could be something important like charge, and even high jump and speed are both nice movement items that would help at this point. Does Glove know something I don't? Well, never mind about the checking items thing. Glove has a plan. They're on a mission. Looks like on a mission to East Meridia, if I had to guess. Looks like it. gonna go for this snail clip to check these two items. Did I miss Glove checking the items in Green Brinstar? I think I might have just forgotten about them, to be honest. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get the snail clip. There's another snail to do it off of, but that one moves really fast. It's really hard to position it correctly. Again, this is a trick I'm not super knowledgeable with, but there is a good lineup with the... You can see the line connecting the two pipes on the left of this gap. You can line up the snail on a specific pixel with that line. Needs to be a little bit higher, I think. That's too high. That should be good. Oh, that's... Well, Glove's gonna leave this be for now, it looks like. I'm not actually sure if Scott can get to this item here that he's trying to at Croc. There's two items left at Crocomire. This is one of them. The other one is, I believe, Cosine Missile. And unfortunately for Scott, both of them are the two major items, so kind of needs to check this. For all he knows, it could be Varia, it could be Charge, High Jump, Speed, Space Jump. We know it can't be all of those, but fortunately Scott's been having a bit of a seed. Which happens, of course. Well, hopefully this item here, a Cosine Missile, is something that helps Scott check that. There's three items that could: Bombs, Space Jump, and Speed Booster, and all three of them could be here. Does need to be careful about his health, though. You're gonna see Scott not gonna play too fancy here. Needs a little bit more health. Hey, that's one of the items. Now he needs to get out. Alright, nice and safe. We will see if Scott goes back and decides to bomb jump up to that other item. I definitely would in his position. I think he knows he's behind. He died twice, right? And I think from there you really need to... I guess you need to take risks, but I feel like going out of your way to pick up this item, which is really slow, I'd say that counts as a risk. I don't like leaving areas uncleared anyways. Scott, you can bomb jump from this platform that Scott's on. You don't need to be in the acid. The bomb will propel you across to the platform up above. Well, saving just in case. Just in case of Ridley, basically. She's got plenty of ammo, but you know, if things go wrong, better safe than sorry. I didn't see what happened to Scott, but I think he saw the item. I didn't see how he fell back down, but if he's going back up, I assume the item is something good. Maybe just dropped the bomb jump. Oh, never mind. Scott can't quite see the item from this. It's like one block off the screen. Well, grapple beam is okay. Definitely not what you're hoping to spend multiple minutes trying the spring ball jump and later bomb jumping up for, but there are spots where it will help. Love looking like she's got a good Ridley fight going. Is Ridley dead? Yes, he is. Yeah, one of the answer the question in chat. One of the more complained about aspects of area rando, specifically full area rando, is that there is no way to get out of Red Tower the way you came if you don't have power bombs at the top. So if the two doors, the two area transitions are both dead ends, then you're kind of out of luck, which has happened to a lot of very good runners. I think Cutie happened to him the last season of Randomizer League, and remember he was very upset about that, understandably. Actually, I don't think that was Randomizer League. I think that was the multi-category rando tournament. Either way, definitely had an impact on a very strong runner. So, Glove, 2 bosses down. Still looking for Kraid and Lower Norfair, which will both house either Kraid or Dragon. Also looking for Charge Beam, ideally, but could technically make it with ammo. Not surprised. Glove knows there's at least one Super Missile pack up here, so they are going to go for the snail clip at least one more time. That lineup, I'm very surprised that wasn't good. Oof, it's a disaster. Apparently there's a 2-pixel window for the snail. I did not know that. Nice quick drop from Scott. Love to see that. Playing with confidence. There's the snail clip. Fortunately, the other item is just a missile, but that's still one missile pack closer in theory. 55-55 would be the minimum required ammo. There's Charge Beam, actually. It's been at Criteria the whole time. We'll see when or if Glove is able to get to that. Conveniently, it's also right next to Lower Norfair. Also conveniently, Glove is right there. How nice. Unfortunately, didn't check the item first. Okay. Glove's gonna go back. Most likely, she'll make it to charge and then immediately double back and go to Lower Norfair. It's not the most comfortable Lower Norfair, but you don't need to do any fancy movement tricks entering from the back, so it's okay that she only has high jump, or she doesn't have high jump, rather. She only has spring ball in terms of movement items. And with this powerful beam combo, she's not happy about that after spending so much time on the snail clip, but honestly, I would not be surprised if Glove feels like she's behind. Obviously, the runners aren't watching each other's restreams. They don't know what's happening. But you know, Glove, after spending so much time on snail clips, after spending a decent amount of time just hunting for ammo only to find charge, you definitely don't feel good in that situation, even if we as the audience know that she's actually several minutes ahead. Scott is still a ways away, does not even have a power bomb pack yet. I don't believe he reset with one. Like I said, it's been a seed for Scott. I'm told, and by me I mean everyone in chat, that this is the longest of first power bombs. If that's true, which, like I said, I haven't been following super closely. Nice Metal Pirate strat there from Glove, by the way. But if that's true, then oof for Scott, basically. Not much else to say. You don't want to be negative and doing comms for these races, but there are times like this where one runner just, even if they aren't necessarily playing badly, just kind of get the short end of the stick in terms of where they go, what they do, what items they find, what items they don't find. It's hard to stay positive, especially it's even harder to stay positive if you're the one that's getting owned like Scott is right now. So like I said before, he's still showing off some pretty slick movement. We saw the quick drop earlier down the gauntlet crumble blocks. That's something that if you mess up, you can just miss out on an item. And remember that Scott doesn't know where most of the important items are. So it's good to see somebody still playing with confidence after the seed has done this to them, basically. Objective okay for Glove. Gonna find another E-Tank. Not surprised you picked that up. Might be going for 7 E-Tanks, but even if not, going for 5 or 6 just for safety is fine. And honestly, I think if you're checking the room at all, then I think it's definitely correct to pick up the E-Tank. You're not gonna go out of your way to check the item and then not pick it up, I would say. I say going out of your way, although Love actually didn't have a great way to get out of the room. So Scott is more geared up for Crocomire, if that's... Well, he already did Crocomire. I am very silly. Unfortunately, he can't actually go back this way because it is a powerbomb door, rather. That was the source of my confusion, I would say. So unfortunately, Scott he only has one way out. We know that one way is accessible. He can't go through Lower Norfair, but he can go through... I actually don't remember exactly where the other door led. Where Glove entered Criteria from. I think it was the tube? in Greenbryn, or Redbryn rather. Which Scott can enter with the clip. You can clip into the tube without using a power bomb to break it. So hopefully Scott knows that. With the way he is pathing, I do not know if he does. This is I think this is, he's just checking the item here. See if this is power bombs, which I don't believe it is. He's got plenty of health to make it out. Needs to be a little bit careful of this guy. Maybe plenty of health is an overstatement, but enough health for Scott. Kind of surprised he doesn't farm one of the Kagos. Alright. You can actually clip. You can see that cropping on the very right side. You can morph under that, and the aim will actually allow you to unmorph, and it pushes you down into the tube. So I really hope Scott knows about that. It doesn't look like he does, though. This looks like a... This feels like a resignation. Not in the race room. Given that his stream just froze, I believe that was a forfeit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I think that was an end stream. So once again, I think that's something that Scott can, if he watches it back, that's something he can learn for next time. He's not actually stuck here. You can clip through the tube. It's a pretty important tech to know, and especially in random start, because you actually end up in that situation a lot, with random start area rando to be specific. Or I guess area rando in general, but you know what I'm trying to say here. The point is, it's an important piece of tech to learn, and while Scott didn't know it for this race, he was already in a pretty bad situation given how the early game went for him. And having that knowledge for next time when it could matter is important. So even if it was a really bad seed for Scott, hopefully he can at least take home a few little tricks about area rando and full rando that will make him a better randomizer gamer. Which, like I said, it's what we're all here for. In the meantime, Glove is go mode. Did take down the vanilla Kraid at Kraid. Is now on her way to G4. I don't remember where it is, so hopefully she does. I know she's seen it. It was in Upper Norfair. It was at the Croc transition. So that is where Glove is headed. Not sure what route they're taking, though. I think they might be taking a roundabout route back to the bottom of Red Tower, so this may have been a little bit inefficient. Or actually, looks like they're going to Retro. Or behind Morph, rather. which probably leads somewhere in Norfair. I wasn't paying super close attention to all the areas. Once again, it's a good thing that the runners were. Though to be fair, I do think it's actually easier as a runner to keep track of everything than as a viewer, because you're specifically aiming to remember everything. Plus, I don't know if Glove uses a tracker or not. There's Spazer, by the way. I'm not gonna pick it up. I don't know if Glove uses a tracker, but with a tracker, it's actually fairly easy to keep track of everything. Even without a tracker, if you can remember general knowledge, like the general area that an area connects to, you can usually fill out the rest. Either way, we are on the way to G4. Just a couple more rooms. And then it's a little bit of an awkward Turian with no movement items, but this is still going to be a pretty fast seed, especially with Vanilla Escape. No speed, no high jump makes things a little rough, but it's still not going to take too long. It'll be like a 101-ish. Maybe a little slower than that. What did Scott miss? Power bombs mainly. I believe Glove's first power bomb pack was up in West Meridia, up at the beach area. I don't think Scott ever actually went into that area with Gravity Suit. And so was never able to check that item, and as a result, did not find any power bombs. You'd have to assume that's probably where he would be headed next. Maybe not necessarily there, but there's a lot of the area open now that he has bombs, actually, that would also have been opened with power bombs. But unfortunately, Scott didn't know about the clip back in. You can see he's on top of the tube. He didn't know about the clip back in, which would have put him back into the main area. And so he thought he was stuck and forfeited, I believe. I think. Like I said, I'm not in the race room, so things might be going differently. Nice fast Metroid Rube 4 strat from Glove. Does Glove do the the high jump list clockwise skip? I know that's. I don't know how common of a strat that skip is now. I know it's new. I haven't followed super closely since it was discovered. I don't know who uses it and who doesn't. I guess without high jump, it's still probably a little bit too difficult for the majority of people. Maybe the really sick low percent runners can do it, but Glove is, I believe, a good low percent runner. Not a crazy one, though. I could be wrong about that, but I believe Glove has done a decent amount of low percent. Also with screw attack, need to do this down back zeb skip. Nicely done. Could also have done the second zeb skip, like you see in GT Classic. Just have Spring Ball, and technically you don't even need Spring Ball to do it. You can just morph and unmorph, pushes you up into the crevice. But regardless. See a nice Mother Brain 2. Catch-ups are actually pretty tough to dodge with just high jump. But like I said about Glove, she definitely knows how to do low percent, so shouldn't be a problem. Only need to dodge one, and really didn't even need to dodge it with the amount of E-tanks she had. So, we are on our way to the end of the game. After a brief cutscene, of course. So I guess now would be a good time to talk about the tournament as a whole. If I'm not mistaken, this was a 3-1 match, so Glove going to be moving on to so that you want to have plenty of wins. So both runners still in a very good spot, I would say. Glove more so. Just got to keep collecting dubs. Collect the dub is what Glove will do. The Brain 3 is down. I think I may have sold her short when I said 101. It's going to be... Yeah, I think this is going to be a high 1 hour flat. Like a 1005X. Maybe 4X. It was a good Turi, and I underestimated or overestimated how much time not having any movement items would lose. Glove had very good execution throughout. Honestly, I think saying high hour might still have been selling here short. Definitely going to be a 1 hour flat though, which is a very good time for these settings. Sub-hour area rando is really hard to do. You have to have a lot of things go very correctly. So getting close to that sub-hour mark, just over it without any items that help you go faster like high jump or speed is definitely really impressive. No question about that. So, GG's. Like I said, I am not in the race room, so I don't know what the official time was. So I'll just say 1 hour 37. And we'll pretend that's where it is on the race room. GG's to Glove and to Scott, of course. Race time was apparently 1 hour 39, and we are joined by Glove. GG's on the race. How are you feeling?
Thanks. I was feeling pretty bad about that. There were multiple times there where I just made some pretty horrendous routing mistakes. Like there at the end, going through Norfair, completely like not thinking about the fact I don't have speed. I could have routed that much better, but it seems like Scott had a really rough time of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was said in the race room, but Scott never actually ended up finding a powerbomb pack, which I don't think there were very many in this seed. Anyways, I think you only had 2 or 3.
It says 8 powerbomb packs total, which is kind of high for what it looked like. But yeah, I can see how that would happen. Like there were a lot of different ways you could go to find that powerbomb pack. So yeah, I mean it was a really weird seed to route, honestly. Like anytime you have, pretty much immediately got gravity, and then I knew where Varia was, and thankfully Fantoon was there, otherwise that would have just been pretty annoying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There was one thing I wanted to ask you about, and maybe it was just a mistake, but you ran past a couple unchecked areas in green Brinstar, or specifically in pink Brinstar, when there was one more major left, like before finding charge. I don't know.
I don't know. I was kind of... I'm never sure what to do in those situations. I should have just cleared Brinstar, honestly, because I was looking for ammo anyway, but it was like a lot of these checks feel pretty slow. Stuff like... I mean, the Edakun's area, it balances out. I was kind of just hoping I could find enough ammo on the way, though. The checks that I chose to do for ammo were not great, though.
Well, you got the snail clip eventually.
That was... I wanted that super.
Understandable, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know why I had so much issue with snail clip there. That is like the longest I've taken to get snail clip in probably over a year. But yeah, that was just weird seed. Like you were like being in go minus ammo or charge so early on in a full countdown can be kind of interesting. And also like, I don't know, this map is deceptively confusing. Like, it doesn't really have any areas super quarantined off or anything. It was just like when you came across the bosses was kind of weird.
I definitely agree that seeds where you're go mode or almost go mode before you actually know where all of the bosses are, definitely, they feel really awkward because it's like, it's hard to determine exactly what you should be doing in those situations sometimes.
Yeah, like fairly early on, I was in this situation where it's like, I can go back like a few areas to go fight the Dragon boss, and I'm not sure if that's the correct choice or not. Same thing with the wreck ship boss. Although the wreck ship boss, I really needed that to be Fantoon so I could get that Varia suit. Otherwise, the seed routing just gets a million times worse. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a bad seed exactly, just interesting. Although, it sounds like with what happened with Scott, if you didn't make some of those right checks early on, it was pretty frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much else to say. You getting power bombs kind of made the difference because Scott never went there, and there were, I don't know if there were any other accessible power bombs that early on. Not without doing hell runs, at least.
Yeah, I was even thinking about whether I wanted to go for the hell runs. I just didn't think it made that much sense.
If you know where Varia is, I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, GG's to Scott. Unfortunate that it had to go like it did. But best of luck to him in future. How many more rounds do we have of this?
Well, I was going to ask you that, so.
Let me look at the challenge.
Looks like there's 6 rounds.
So there's one more after this. Then that sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know how the playoff system works, but I assume 4 and 2 might be the cutoff. Actually, I don't know how many during playoffs, so I can't really say that.
Yeah, they're like different groups. Okay, so. And there are enough people who are 3 and 1 that. Or enough people will become 4 and 1 that I don't really know who I'll be facing next round, but. Everyone here who's at this point is solid. And especially with some of these settings, there's a lot that can happen, so.
Definitely interesting. I'll have to check out more of this tournament, I think. I kind of just jumped into comms because I saw a race happening without comms with 2 people I recognized.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I didn't know this got comms until I got done. So, thanks for hopping in.
Anytime. I think that's all I've got, though. So if there's anything else you want to add, go ahead.
No, just thank you for doing commentating. Thanks to, I believe, Exact Science was on tracking. Yes. So thanks to both of y'all. Thanks to Idle and Exact, and I don't know if there's any other mods for organizing this tournament. Yeah, hope everyone has a good night.
Bye-bye.